Churchill is the oldest neighborhood in the city of Richmond. Was going to be the capital. The neighborhood developed as a middle-class neighborhood to support the tobacco industry. Along the 25th Street corridor, of course, over time, businesses sprang up. It was sort of like a mall, only in a very urban context. I think the major turning point, not just for Churchill, but the major turning point was after World War II for all urban neighborhoods. That's when things started to decline. The automobile industry, roads, the Transportation Act under Eisenhower, all of those things really supported suburban growth to get people out of the neighborhoods. Decades later, we've sort of figured out that that's a really unsustainable way to develop land.
But 25th Street was the main place, all the way down from 25th and Marshall, and going all the way down to my road. Yes, I remember all that. That was very nice. We used to walk down that street all the time, going down 25th Street. But everybody was going to the theater, and when they weren't going to the Robinson, they would come to the East End Theater. I remember one time we used to walk to church. All these houses, everybody was walking. Now you see they have moved all across town. And you don't see them anymore. And you see the neighborhoods going down. People are moving out. But now you see that as revitalizing now. It's changing now. You see new houses going up, but you don't see many children like you see during that time. We used to come out and play, neighborhood playing, block to block playing. Don't see it anymore.
My sister and I often would visit 25th Street because it had interesting places that she and I liked to visit, such as the dime store, where I could go and get my Jack Rocks, I could go get my paper dolls. That was a thing of that day. And I imagine I was about 9 years old and my sister 2 years older than I. We could go to the bakery and get us a nice piece of pastry. And what I liked about 25th Street at that time, we didn't have to feel unsafe. I just enjoy visiting 25th Street, and I would like to see it revived again, where others and the younger ones will be able to enjoy some of the experiences that I have already had.
More businesses, so more small stores, some retail, just something where it has kind of a mixed urban feel, where you have commercial and residential kind of along that corridor.
I guess more casual social opportunities, that if you wanted to say go have a beer, let's just say beer. If you wanted to go have a beer or you want to socialize, as Yvette suggested in there, you want it to be a place convenient for you, because to drive 30 minutes somewhere and then do what you want to do and then come back, it's kind of like you've defeated your purpose. The relaxation mode is gone because now you got the obligation of getting back. So I think community serves itself by having those opportunities.
I'd like to see a grocery store where the old one used to be. I'd like to see more restaurants, a bakery maybe. I think with the amount of people that are moving in, it could sustain it. It can sustain a large chain grocery store that has fresh vegetables, produce, everything.
You look at 25th Street along there, and now you have the Sunny Market and the grubby little stores and that Rainbow building that was built and never occupied. We don't have lasting buildings there. It's all throwaway buildings. I guess seeing buildings that look like people actually invested would invest in the long-term health of the neighborhood. I'd like to see that.
Until a few decades ago, the general public did not get involved in the disposition of the public environment. You bought and sold property, But in terms of the way it was planned and laid out, that was what the experts did, and it would be the government who was doing that or a developer. And in the last several decades, I think there's been a discovery that the experts doing it without specific input from the public was not producing the greatest results. And so the charrette offers a time of focus, a week, in which people can get together, exchange ideas, all the kind of often opposing goals for a given place can be put on the table. And then a group of people who spend that whole week working can try to resolve some of the oppositions, provide what we call a third place, a kind of proposal of resolution. And the public that's participating can come and go in that in a way that suits the amount of time that they have. And so this kind of very complex and, I should say, very flexible vehicle for interaction really has emerged from the needs of the time and the condition of American society.
So as a healthcare provider in the community, we realize we can affect a lot of the factors like access to fresh fruits and vegetables, access to affordable housing, access to better public safety. So we figured that a collaborative, comprehensive public engagement process would be the best tool to engage the community around some of these needs in the particular area. So the charrette is good because it's a way for all of these agencies to kind of get together over an intense 7-day process and put everything on the table.
So Juanita's proposing an alternative vision, which might be that Bon Secours might create a kind of neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the neighborhood works with the existing street grid. What's over here? These are all good houses.
Like this has been spoken, you've got a lot of residents, regardless of their incomes, that would support a quality supermarket in that area, as well as other retail.
But you could have a food co-op. Why not? Because we didn't think about it? Maybe. Well, if we think about it, we might organize it so that 25th Street might have a food cooperative. That's one way, I think, to satisfy some of the interest in a grocery store.
Open up a theater so they can go to the theater. Have a place for recreation, a variety of recreation for them, so they won't have to hang out on the corner. And this is what they want too, because this is what they express. I'm going to jump over to Armstrong. This is where we would like to see that building develop into something that would suit all ages.
Majority of the kids parents who have kids in this community, they have to take their kids down and out into Henrico County to get a job at a McDonald's or fast food restaurant or Sam's Club or Target. And so they've got to go out of the community. And I would like to see our kids and even our adults be able to have opportunities of employment within the community.
What was great about the charrette is that I feel it captured the voices of the residents, the voices that I've heard, the ideas that I've heard over the last several months about what they would like to see in the district. And I can see those voices clearly reflected in the renderings that are being proposed and being prepared for presentation at the closing.
But this is going to be the first opportunity to really see the plan in its entirety.
Give that a sense of place and make it feel like it's your town square, even while people drive through on their way in and out of town, helping your supermarket flourish. And so here's a grand conception of the library in front, the market in back, an additional building, and the fountain in the square. I think you can tell that many of the ideas that you brought us, we could in some way incorporate either in the words that we're leaving behind or the images. And I must say the design team is leaving with a great sense of excitement about the potential here, and we would like to continue to participate with you to make some of these things happen.
Because they took into account not just the fact that we needed more space, they also looked at what would be a great location for us to blend in with the community. So it's a reoccurring theme in making sure that we mesh properly, and that's what we wanted. And make sure there's a friendly place where people want to come in and have multiple uses, not just for law enforcement, because again, we do more than just make arrests.
Somebody in there said they wished colored pencils could turn into money. There's 2 parts. It looks great, and then there's, is it going to happen? I see it, and I look at it, and I want to really see it. But, I don't know. I'm a little cynical.
And you know what? We're just extremely excited about it. I just, I've envisioned this many years ago. And to see now, the individuals who are in place who are going to help bring this to fruition, again, is just extraordinary.
You can see in that charrette that there was larger scale development. There's high rise, there's single family, there's there's store opportunities, and that's sort of a vision. And how do you feel that vision? I think that's where we are right now. We know it's possible. What policies do we need on a national, state, and local level to incentivize development along those commercial corridors so that people can live around these areas? And I truly think that is the future. That's the future of the neighborhood. Is everybody will move back in because they just don't want to be in the car anymore, driving in when they can just sort of live there and experience their neighborhood all within walking distance. I think that's where we are right now.